What do you believe right now that's making you feel this way? And when you analyse it, you realise how irrational you can be at times.
Every single one of our major customers and minor customers all shut their doors overnight.
It's not sales per se, but the outcome of it is because people get to know you, they get to see you.
But, what's the culture like at the business? What do we stand for, the values?
I've got to tick that box on my personal development programme I don't really want to be here.
Scaling up a business isn't easy. If it were, we wouldn't have less than 4% of businesses scaling beyond 10 employees or around £1 million turnover level, and less than 1% beyond 50 employees. But the contribution that we make as owner-managers to our economies is immense and should never be underestimated. Yet it can be a tough gig for all of us at times, and only other business owners truly understand the challenges that we face. And through ScaleUp Radio, we aim to help make things a little easier. We interview guests who have been where you are now and may have faced some of the challenges that you are facing. And they offer their thoughts and advice on what has worked for them, as well as what didn't. And we've also combined many of the lessons from these interviews and also through working with hundreds of owner managers over the last 10 years or so into a practical scale-up handbook that we've called the Entrepreneurial Scale-Up System, or ESUS. And it's for owner managers like you and me as we navigate our own scale-up journey. And you can order a copy through your favourite online book retailer or by going to all the W's, esusgroup.co.uk, www.esusgroup.co.uk. What a great young entrepreneur. Today I spoke with Kristian Cuffin, who founded something called Cuffed in Coffee, and he's combined his love of coffee with the love of the outdoors and adventure, and he's creating and building a lifestyle coffee brand and he has got large ambitions. He's hoping to become associated with coffee almost in the same way that Red Bull is associated with high energy drinks. So he's got big plans. He's been going for about 4 years. Of course, he had COVID in the middle of that, as we all did. But you'll hear literally how he started off with a mobile site on the coffee, and pretty much literally the wheels came off of his trailer. Not quite exactly that, but pretty much that. So he's had some real low points, but he's built himself up from there to now having a couple of stores. He now roasts his own coffee. He's got 8 employees, and he's looking to franchise the business and expand across the UK and really build that brand. So lots of really great advice here, but also a great story as to how Kristian has fared so far in building his business. And of course, he's now getting into the point where he's got that challenge of having his employees. And of course, finance rears its head as well. But also from a strategic point of view, he really does emphasize the importance of having a great business plan before you start. So rather than me spoil it all, let's go across to Kristian for the rest of his story. We will include a link in the show notes to all of the things that he mentions, but also to a score app that we have, which will help you to check your thinking on that planning, on that business planning, and your strategic thinking, which might be useful to you. Welcome to ScaleUp Radio. I'm here today with Kristian Cuffin of Cuffed in Coffee. So Kristian, welcome to ScaleUp Radio.
Thank you very much. And thank you for having me. It's a privilege to be here.
No, it's great. And, I think we both finalists at the Great British Entrepreneur Awards, weren't we? So, great to have you on. So Cuffed in Coffee, is obviously a clue in the name, but what's it all about?
Yeah, so Cuffed in Coffee, we're a lifestyle coffee brand. So we focus on great coffee and great adventure. So we're looking to be the Red Bull of the coffee industry.
So certainly lofty ambitions. So what does that mean in practice? What do you do that separates you from other people selling coffee?
Yeah, so right now we're a small business still. So we're a team of 8, and we roast our own coffee and we serve them from our 2 outlet stores in Holyhead.
Okay.
So what makes us different basically is the fact that we're a group of people that want to push our customers to become their best version through adventure.
Okay.
And adventure can be anything. So you've got your standard adventures of climbing mountains and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, standard everyday stuff. Yeah, climb a mountain every day.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's also just stepping into the unknown, whether it's business, reading a new book, learning a new skill. That's what we consider adventure.
Brilliant. So how do you do that within the stores or other things that you do? How do you bring that adventure into the coffee experience?
So we're all a group of outdoor lovers. So our ideal customer is someone really that enjoys the outdoors mainly. But yeah, we're all a group of outdoor lovers. So we host like outdoor events. So we've done a little race that we've had to postpone for the time being. But essentially it was Attack the Mountains. So it was a fun little idea that we used to have in the coffee shop. It was always the argument of who's faster, runners or mountain bikers. So we turned it into a race on our local mountain. And yeah, we're just building the business now to host more events like that.
Very good. And where does the coffee fit in? Is that because of the location of the base, or is the coffee somehow a feature in the race or in the experience?
Yeah, so caffeine has been cited multiple times as a performance aid for concentration, but also physical performance as well. So it raises the heart rate, it gets the blood flowing, increases vasodilation and all the sorts. Okay,
good. So how are you actually? Are you with the race? Is that being built into the race? Is the coffee available there? Because I think you've got a coffee bike, haven't you, as well as the store? Is that right?
Yeah, we've just sold. So yeah, we were not hosting events. We were at events that were similar. So we've got a lot of local like sporting events. So the Tour de Morne, which is 107-mile bike ride around Anglesey. Yeah. There's the Ring of Fire, which is 135-mile foot race around Anglesey. So we have all these outdoor events that we like to serve our coffees at and just be a part of that community.
Brilliant. Good. And of course, do you do anything with the race circuit? You've got fantastic little race circuit on Anglesey, haven't you, as well?
We haven't reached that yet, but yeah, something to get into in the future.
Brilliant, good stuff. So, how does the business model work? How do you what do customers pay for? How do you charge them? How do you make money?
So we make money through our coffee. So we have 2 coffee shops, and we create a community there, and we sell our coffee barista standard, so in-house, and then we also sell online on our website, so you can buy for home use, you can take it out camping with you, like use an AeroPress. So yeah, online and in store.
Okay, and I'm not a coffee expert. What's an AeroPress? What's that?
So it's basically a plastic model, and then it's like a portable espresso maker, essentially. Right. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah. Okay. So you can take your really good quality coffee out with you on your adventure and make it as you go, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good. All right. And with the online selling of the coffee, is that generally to people that have been in the store, or are you selling that further afield now?
So we sell UK-wide at the moment online. It's quite small at the moment because we haven't managed to breach the markets yet. Yeah. But we do have, we ship all over the UK. Because we get a lot of tourists in Holyhead and people passing by. Okay. So they pop in quickly on their way to Ireland, say, because we're in Holyhead, which is the closest port to Ireland. Yeah. And then, they sort of fall in love with the coffee and then can always get it at home then.
Brilliant. So you've given us a bit of an idea of the size. You got 8 of you in the business, 2 coffee outlets.
Yeah. And we have our industrial unit also where we roast our coffee.
Very good. So your ideal customer, from what you're explaining, is somebody that loves the outdoors but also appreciates good coffee. Is that fair?
Yeah, they seem to go hand in hand. Like anywhere you go, where there's outdoors places, you'll always find a coffee shop. So yeah.
Good. So what got you into this? What got you started?
So with I've always loved helping people, essentially. So I went down a little personal journey, wanted to become a PE teacher. So I went to university. But during my time at university, I came across a Camp America seminar where you become a camp counselor for summer. So thought I'd take up that opportunity, and then essentially diverted paths from my original plan of teaching. Ended up joining cruise ships shortly after, and managed to travel the world, meet lots of new people. And there just came a point where I was having a great life, don't get me wrong, but there was just something missing, like the purpose, and I wanted to return home. So with all my experience, I thought, I was sitting in a coffee shop, actually. I was like, I can do this.
Right. Yeah.
That's essentially where it came about. And then from there, just started making plans while I was still on board, and then came home and just did a lot of research, read lots of books, joined the Prince's Trust.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And they helped with provide a mentor.
Yeah.
And who helped me with a business plan. And then that's essentially how I got to start in the business.
Brilliant. So take us back to that start then. What were some of the challenges in getting the business started? Yeah,
so there's a host of challenges, especially from my view. I didn't have any money to start with, so
right. Yeah.
That was an issue, but that's where I believe a business plan really helps, especially if you're going to apply for some funding. Having a solid business plan gives the lenders that confidence in yourself that you've done the research, that you've got good, realistic forecasts.
Yeah. So how did you? What did you need at the beginning? What did you go to bank for some funding?
Yeah. So the bank's quite difficult to lend from, really, like the Barclays, NatWest and stuff like. So we went through the British Business Bank.
Okay.
For a startup loan. I'll highly recommend them. They truly do understand startup businesses, and they do want to help, and they offer great rates. So that's another benefit for the business. But yeah, so that was one of the problems, is just getting some cash together. And the other is just having that support network. So when you have these lofty ambitions and you're quite entrepreneurial, it's quite hard to relate to all the people around you. They don't see your vision. So having that mentor with the Prince's Trust just gives you that assurance that you are on the right path.
Yeah, very good. So what have been some of the key milestones? So presumably you were, what was the first stepping stone to find a location for your first store?
Yeah, so because of how much money it costs to set up an actual coffee shop, that wasn't attainable. So hence why I decided to go for the mobile trailer.
Yep.
As that cost a lot less money. But even still, we had to find ways around that. So we had to buy just a cheap derelict trailer, and we renovated it ourselves.
Yeah.
So that saved us a lot of cash. And then we just found our first pitch. But everything leading up to that as well is all the insurances you need, all the stuff like that. But again, all the help is there if you look for it. So we joined NCAS, which is the National Catering Association. Yeah. So they've provided us with a full due diligence folder. Gives you all the qualifications you need to run a legal food business, and gives you all the tips and tricks into running a mobile catering business. So
very good. Yeah.
Yeah. Essential. So we got to that stage, but then we were looking for a more permanent pitch because we wanted regular cash flow.
Yeah.
So the first day of my pitch, I realized I made a big mistake. So it was a great pitch because it was right on the local beach.
Okay.
But as we're off an island at Holyhead, it's the weather's very inclement. So it was very difficult to trade. Like the cups were flying everywhere. And I was like, oh, I can't do this forever. So I had to go back to the drawing board and find a more suitable pitch that would allow us to trade year round.
Yeah.
And that took another 2-3 weeks. But then following that, just as I was taking it to that pitch, the brakes broke because we did buy a cheap trailer.
Oh no. What happened?
And that was genuinely the point where I almost like packed in the business.
Right.
Because like I had £2,000 left. The brakes were costing 1,500. I was like,
gosh.
Yeah, how do I? Yeah. But lucky enough, I do have a very strong support network, great friends and family. So they helped chip in a little bit and just give me the support to carry on.
Yeah, because of course presumably you've got to buy a fair amount of the beans of the stock up front as well, have you?
It's not too bad. There's many roasteries, like because we started off without our own coffee at first, so we were using another coffee roaster.
Yeah,
we were just buying coffee. So the minimum order is 8 kilos, so it's nothing too significant.
Yeah. Okay. So you hit almost rock bottom. Literally, well, not quite the wheels came off the business, but the brakes failed on the business. But you picked yourself up from there, and so now you're in this pitch where, and it's just you presumably at the minute, is it, or have you got?
It's just myself. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the next sort of stages in there?
So we started just building our regular trade, started making like £30 a day. And then it just started creeping up. And then obviously just as it started getting like reasonable, COVID hit.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Because you've been going about 4 years now, I think, haven't you?
Yeah. So we set up, we did our first trading day the summer in 2019.
Yeah.
So we got to the end of 2019 and then the world got turned upside down.
So what happened then?
But fortunately, we had some good luck there and we were granted permission to trade by the local council as we were an outdoor business, essentially.
Okay.
As like a drive-through. So with all the other businesses closed, we drew in a lot of extra customers that wouldn't have come to us or didn't even know about us.
Right, because the actual stores were shut.
Yeah, so McDonald's was essentially our biggest local competitor and they were closed down. So people had nowhere else to go but us.
Yeah.
We've still kept, I'd offer a rough estimate, at least 80% of those customers during COVID are still with us today. So
very, very good. So you actually saw an increase in turnover then during that period. Yeah,
and then midway through COVID was another milestone for us, which was Morn CF, which are a charity-based business who help with employability and business support.
Yeah,
they came up with a new project really, where they buy properties in the high street. The local high street, as it's quite deprived, there's a lot of vacancies, and they refurbish them to a high standard and then rent them out at affordable rates to local businesses.
Okay.
So they approached me with that about halfway through COVID as the first lockdowns eased. And I just decided to go for it. Like we said, the business was moving nicely even through COVID. I just thought, why not take another risk? And from there, I hired 2 staff just to help me open it up. And then it's gone from strength to strength from there. Then all
right. So you're now, you're now in the stage where you've got to now think about how you manage how you recruit, but then how you manage other people in the business, no longer just you. So tell us about some of those challenges and what you learned there.
So because it is so intimate as a small startup business, it's just being a good person, essentially being friendly, approachable, and explaining your vision for the business, especially to the new staff. So I've always, and I still do to this day, speak to my staff about what we want to achieve in the future.
Okay.
And that just helps build a team that's aligned, first of all. So everyone's engaged. They know what their mission is, our mission. And yeah, it's just, like I said, it's gone from strength to strength. We've got a good employer brand now locally. So we've got a list of people waiting for jobs when they're there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But what have you learned about the importance of position, I guess, for a retail type outlet? So you mentioned before with the first pitch, that was somewhere where you really got all of the brunt of the weather conditions. So the weather was a key factor there. What else have you learned about? Because you've got 2 locations now. So what have you learned about siting?
Well, location.
Yeah.
You need to be where the people are, especially in a tourist area like Holyhead, where it right in the high street, just off the bridge, which you have to go over to get into the town. So we're ideally located for all tourists and many passing trade.
Yeah. Okay. And how's the cash flow looking at this point? I got two shops.
Yeah, cash flow right now it's good. Yeah, it's flowing in, but it's equally flowing out because we're constantly pushing the business, trying new things. We've just taken on a social media manager now. So
okay.
I've got a long-term plan for the business, and I don't want any returns for myself for the next few years even. I'm willing to go to 10 years, but hopefully it'll be before that. But so we get money in and we just keep trying to expand. We'll hire new staff, we'll buy new equipment, we'll market a bit more. So it's just money in and then just keep reinvesting into the business.
Yeah. And at what point did you decide to roast your own beans?
It was always our intention, but like you said, it's expensive equipment. So we managed to get ourselves a little 1 kilogram roaster, and we started roasting on that and supplying ourselves. And then from there, we had an investor approach us and offered to set up our full roastery. So
okay. So what did the investor want in return?
He's a very friendly guy. So he owns the land where we got the original pitch. So he's seen the business grow, like he's seen the values we have, how we treat our customers, and he just wanted to be a part of the business. Really, like he loved it. So he decided to put his hard-earned money into us, and we set up like a separate business for the roastery just to protect Cuffin Coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so we're 50-50 on the other side of the business, and Cuffin Coffee is still my own.
Very good. So you've now got control over your over the quality of your coffee and the supply of it. Yeah,
because like the ultimate goal basically is to create a franchise. So if we own the supply, then we can guarantee quality, exactly what you've just said, quality, and just maintaining control of the supply. So there's no unforeseen errors.
Great. So the future then is that you'll start helping other people to build Cuffin Coffee in different parts of the country through a franchise model. Yeah,
exactly. And the locations we'll be looking for will be in busy outdoor areas. So just like a local area for ourselves would be Betty's-y-Coed, which is right at the foot of Snowdon. So it's all those sort of like, and then who knows, in the future we could be in these ski resorts, everywhere there's outdoors adventure, essentially.
Okay, so and really build that brand of the Cuffin. So tell us about the name. I mean, obviously it's got part of your own name within it. So what is behind the name of Cuffin Coffee?
Yeah, so first of all, I haven't been to jail. I always make that joke. Everyone seems to think there's something related, but no, it was just a play on my surname, just something catchy, and it was a nice way to make an eye-catching logo. So our logo is handcuffs with 2 coffee beans inside.
Yeah.
And once you've tried our coffee, you're cuffed in. So
brilliant, like it. Good. So you'll become you're going to become either the Red Bull of coffee, or the or the what is it, the white stuff, or the fat face, whatever it is, logos with skiing brands and clothing, all those sort of things. As you say. Yeah. Okay, brilliant. So what do you love about what you do?
Everything, really. Like I like the control, like obviously, but it gives you a sense of pride, like when you've created something that people really appreciate, and the opportunities it allows you to achieve. So we've helped our community in multiple ways. Like we donate to a lot of raffles, which is the small parts.
Yeah.
We provide warm spaces in the evenings during winter. That was last winter.
Okay.
And we have a youth program running now. So all the children that hang around on the high street during the evenings that have nowhere to go, we open one night for them to come in and socialise with their friends and act like normal young adults. So it's mainly, and just seeing the smiles and creating a nice environment for the staff, and just seeing the team socialise outside of work together. I think, business is one of the greatest tools for self-improvement and impact that you can have.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I was hoping to achieve, is to create a business that benefits a lot of people.
Yeah. Brilliant. So what sort of things frustrate you most then about the business, maybe?
Oh, frustrating. Well, 'cause there's also a lot of not growing as fast as I want to. Occasional staff issues, although they are amazing. Don't get me wrong. The little issues here and there.
Yeah.
And then just the little knockbacks you get, I suppose, but they're only brief. Like it's like you're making progress, and then like the war in Ukraine, that's a huge tragedy, but then that affects supply issues and then inflation. Yeah. So it's like, so far it's just the never-ending battle with the rough economic situation we've been in for the past 4 years.
I think a lot of people would identify with that. You know, what do you think has contributed to your success? Because you obviously, over those 4 years, you've grown nicely. You added your stores. You've got your roasting facility. You've got a lot right. So what sort of things do you think you've got right that have really contributed to your success?
I would say having a rock solid business plan is one of the biggest. Right. It's like, because a business plan isn't just cash flow forecasts, it's everything. So it's your mission statement, it's your purpose, it's your why, it's what you're going to need to achieve what you want, whether that's starting in a horsebox trailer, get some sales, move into a bricks and mortar premises, make more sales, then it leaves you with this. And it's the roadmap that's led us to where we are now. Is we've always had those intentions of growth. So the business plan is one of the biggest ones, and I think it's the purpose as well. So if your team understand the purpose, they're happier, they work together better. There's a reason why they're coming to work, and they're not just coming to work for money. they're here to help the community and build a business that Holyhead can be proud of.
Yeah, great. So what sort of things do you do to keep that culture within the team?
So it's the socializing we do outside the work. So because we all have that same passion for the outdoors, we'll go climbing together.
Okay.
And like, it's cheesy, but climbing requires a lot of trust, especially if you're belaying people.
Yeah.
So, and it's like healthy competition. So we'll do a lot of bike riding. So it's like whoever wins gets to gloat for the next 24 hours.
Yeah.
It's just creating just a fun environment where we do push to be our best as well.
Yeah.
And hold each other accountable.
So do you literally use the shops as a starting point for some of these events that you would run? You know, is it?
No, actually, like, well, yeah, but not officially. Like we'll meet up, have a coffee, but then obviously we have to go to the mountain. So majority of people just meet at the place.
Because I'm reminded of a business I recall where essentially they sold training shoes. You know, they were a shop, retail outlet that sold athletic footwear, but they set up a running club and all sorts of other clubs based out of the shop, so that actually people like what I think you're trying to achieve is people weren't really just buying a pair of running shoes; they were buying that whole experience of the events and they then created a number of packages, you became a member. So as opposed to just coming in and buying a pair of shoes and going away again, you actually became a member. So there's clients they were sticky, there was recurring revenue, other things that they then started to do. And is that the kind of model that you're going down?
Yeah, exactly. So obviously we make the money through our coffee sales, but that allows us then to do the fun stuff. So but coffee is, like we said again, it's where it binds people itself. Coffee, like how many people do you know that will meet friends for a coffee? Yes. It's slowly becoming like, especially in Holyhead, I can speak for locally, it's more people are coming to the coffee shop now than they are going to the pubs. So it's that place of socializing and just sharing ideas and then capitalizing on what's discussed in the coffee shops.
Very good. So you got a lot right. What sort of things do you think you might have got wrong along the way, or that you might do differently if you were to do it again?
It's more funding. I'm sure everyone says that, but it's been a lean startup ever since, and maybe that's the magic wand I'm looking for. Basically, is just to be able to push the outdoor aspect a little bit more, because although we have done a little bit, it's not super regular. And the business does take a lot of my business, so I can't ultimately focus on the event side. Mm-hmm. But what we're planning to do at the moment now is just piggyback onto a lot of the local events until we can create our own. Yeah. And mistakes, there's hundreds of ones that I probably can't remember, but I think mistakes are good, but because we haven't made any serious mistakes as such, it's lots of little ones.
Yeah, no, great. So anything you would do differently if you were to start again now?
Like I said, it's just the funding, and maybe have someone more experienced that knows how to build like the higher side of the bid, like the more as you gain more staff. Because I'm noticing it now slightly, it's just hard to keep everyone on board. It's not hard, but it's getting harder. It's a lot harder to keep that tight-knit group.
Yeah. So you got eight people now, aren't you? So yes, you're at that stage where it's a bit of a challenge with one person leading the business to drive that through with a team of 8 and keep it all. Yeah, keep it. They're a mixture of full and part time. Are they?
Yeah, it's 5 full time, 3 part time.
Yeah. Good. So yes, and I'm sure that's right. You're starting to get to that point where it's quite a lot of the management challenges and making sure that you're executing the plan in the right way that you want to be doing it across all the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. So what's you've given us a hint of it already, but what's the legacy that you'd like to leave with Cuffin Coffee?
Just to become one of the UK's most known coffee brands, and not just for our coffee, but our contribution as well. Like how much, like if you look at Nike, how much they've inspired people to get outside, become active. Red Bull, like it's just to, bring out the full potential of everyone we come into contact with.
So have you got a mission statement like a Nike or a Red Bull? What's the
drink coffee, seek adventure, enjoy life.
Love it. Drink coffee, seek adventure, enjoy life.
Yeah.
That's pretty catchy. Nice.
Yeah, so that's our motto. So yeah, we drink a lot of coffee, we seek adventure, and like I said, adventure is just pushing your own limits, and then enjoying yourself after the adventure. Yeah. Sit back, relax, and reflect. Yeah,
and then do it all over again.
Do it all over again.
Brilliant. Yeah. So if you and I are having this conversation in 5 years' time, what do you want to have achieved by then? What would you count as success in 5 years?
So we're looking now to open another premises end of the year. And then following that, if all goes to plan, we'd like to double up each year. It's big growth plans, but we've essentially got the franchise model together now. So it's just a case of trying to roll that out and getting people on board with that. And then, just increase our wholesale online sales as well. So becoming truly UK-wide known in 5 years.
And what do you see as the biggest challenges, maybe with the franchise side of things? That's a new avenue for you. What do you see as the big challenges there?
From my early research, it's just about finding the right customers for the franchise who truly buy into the brand and the culture and aren't going to dilute the quality. Because barista skills, it's quite a science. So if you don't care about coffee, then the coffee's not going to be that great. Even if you've got the exactly same coffee, if you make it not to standard, then it's going to taste different.
Right.
So it's just, keeping those standards, I suppose. So it's just a way of monitoring how the franchises perform.
Yeah. And what sort of people are you going to look for then to run each of your franchises?
So again, our ideal customer is the outdoor adventure seeker, to really drive that message home, because if you believe in it, then people will believe in it too.
Yeah. Brilliant. Very good. So are you up for a couple of quick fire sort of questions to wrap us up?
Yeah, let's go.
Brilliant. So first one is, if you could go back to your younger self, what advice would you give yourself?
You could achieve more than you think you can.
Okay. Nice. Good. Any books or podcasts or other resources? You mentioned the Prince's Trust. That's a great one. Other resources that you would highlight?
Yeah, one of my favorite books, which there's many books actually, but one of my favorites is The Entrepreneur Myth, or the E-Myth.
Yes. By
Daniel E. Gerber. That's an amazing book that it gives you everything you want to make a turnkey business, which is what you're doing. Yeah. So the E-Myth's a great book. Principles by Ray Dalio. That's another standard book, but again, for good reason. And yeah, they're the two main business books. And
Super.
if you're in hospitality as well, actually, Setting the Table is a great book. Off the top of my head now, I can't remember the author.
Yeah, I don't know that one, but yeah, very good. Okay, we'll look that up and we'll put that in the show notes. So setting the table, excellent. And you also mentioned NCAS, didn't you, as a really good source of advice for anybody in the catering side.
Yeah, so yeah, NCAS, it'll give you all your fire safety documents. Obviously, you'll need to cater them to your business, but it's essentially templated. So they give you all the documents you need to be legal, all the training you need to be legal. Yeah, I can't recommend them enough. Yeah.
Okay, great. And are you a big technology user? Have you got lots of apps on your phone? Any ones you'd recommend?
There is actually. So back to the business plan software, I used LivePlan.
Okay, yep.
I think it's a US company, but that's how I refined my business. It gives you examples of how to answer the questions, and it just gives you all the business lingo that you can slowly learn. So like when you first start out, it's like you don't know what cash flow is, you don't know what profit and loss is, you don't know where expenses go. But with the LivePlan software, it's again all templated, and then you just input in numbers, and that's essentially how I learned to run the business. And then put it into practice.
Yeah, very good. Excellent. So live plan. And who's had the most influence on you, would you say?
Obviously, my parents. They've been amazing and supportive. And even from a young age, they've always told me I can do whatever I want. And that's undervalued, I think, is how much like your parents believe in you. But there was one of my original mentors when I first started work as a gym instructor, who is Ray Williams, who was a Commonwealth gold medalist weightlifter,
right,
and ex-captain in the army. So he taught me everything I knew about gym instructing.
Brilliant.
But it was just his story. So he finished the army, and then he came back to Holyhead himself. So he essentially travelled the world with the army, and came back and fought hard to gain funding to open up a state-of-the-art weightlifting gym and functional fitness centre. So to see him go through all that and then become a part of that in the early days, I think it definitely did have a massive influence.
Excellent. Yeah, very good. You mentioned that you just hired a social media person. What's your most successful way of building your brand awareness and getting new customers? What are you finding works for you?
Online, to be honest, we're not the best, so I can't really dish out advice for that. But in person, it's just how much you care. It resonates with the people, because I'm sure there will be a few people that will have something bad to say, but for the most part, there's nothing but positive emotions that we get from all our customers, which is what's encouraging this fast growth and belief in ourselves. Yeah.
And what do you do in the way of encouraging customers to come back again and again?
It's just be yourselves. Like, this is what I tell my staff all the time with customer service. It's like, just be yourself. You don't need a script. Just smile, eye contact, and just have a conversation with people. Yeah, don't be afraid to be yourself, express yourself, and listen to other people. And it seemed to have worked.
Brilliant. And you're generating quite a lot of awareness for the brand through some of the awards and things, aren't you? Because there's a number of awards that you've been shortlisted for and indeed won.
Yeah, so that's a big thing, just to get your brand out there, to make you more credible, increase employer recognition. So but it's a good way to refine your business as well, because obviously you need to state why you think you're so good, and you need to explain that in the application, and then it's up for other people to decide.
Yeah,
Thank
excellent. Well, I think you've been brilliant. I think it's a really interesting story, fascinating story. You've got lots of big plans for the future, and I certainly look forward to hearing how you get on and seeing your name up alongside Red Bull and Nike in the future. But yeah, brilliant. If people would like to get hold of you or find out more around Cuffin Coffee, what's the best way for them to do that, Kristian?
Yeah, so if you want to get in touch with myself personally, Kristian Cuffin on LinkedIn will be your best shot. And then we do have our website, www.cuffincoffee.com. So there we do write blogs. We express all our brand values, why adventure is important to us, the importance of quality coffee, all the performance benefits, and some business advice as well. So if you want to check out some of those blogs, just visit www.cuffincoffee.com.
Brilliant. And people can presumably, as you said before, they can buy your coffee online if they wish, or if they happen to be in Holyhead, they can pop in and find you there, yeah?
Yep, exactly.
Brilliant. Kristian, thank you very much indeed for being my guest on ScaleUp Radio today.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed that discussion, and if you're building and scaling your own business, you might well be interested in our book, The Entrepreneurial Scale-Up System. And it's exactly what it says on the tin. It's a practical handbook around scaling a business in a structured way. And you can order a copy on all your favorite online retailers, including an audio version, or you can find it and other supporting resources on our website, www.esusgroup.co.uk. That's esusgroup.co.uk, which is esusgroup.co.uk.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.